Welcome back to Harriet's survival story. Today's chapter follows the insanity of episode 16, so Randy is likely to give us a break. Likely, but not guaranteed. We rejoin the colonists on the 6th of April, 5502. The first task at hand is to further develop the living quarters, medical bay, and research lab. The blueprint has been redrafted and finalized, at least for the time being. To maintain security on the outer layer of the base, construction will begin around the defensive wall. That night, stone chunks are moved to create another makeshift firing line around the other watermill. Early in the morning, on the 7th of April, the defensive layer intersecting the reworked residence can be safely dismantled. The days continue to pass uneventfully. At the transition to the 8th, floors to the new rooms are installed. That same day, exec's center room furnishings are moved over and the walls are deconstructed. By the end of the day, Slag's room is reoriented to face the main recreation hall. Another day of peace is granted to the colony, and the bottom half of the residence is largely complete. Since those southeastern rooms will be unoccupied, time and labor is redirected to the northern half. Throughout the 9th, the recreation and dining furniture are also repositioned to make room for the additional bedrooms. At 8 hours, a foggy mist sprays the tropical surroundings and turns into a full downpour within the following hour. That night, the married couple's room is also moved. The air conditioning will need to be moved, but progress is moving along nicely due to Randy's respite. At 5 hours on the morning of the 10th, Lyons' room and Coyote's holding cell are also finished. Now that the layout is complete, there is still the recreation room to polish, and the walls are not quite matching, but style will have to yield to function for the moment, as the more urgent need is the completion of a proper medical sector. By 19 hours, everything is in place with the exception of sterile floors, which will immediately be established. As the sun rises on the 11th, wiring and lighting are extended to the medical and research bays. Then, at 8 hours, the first disruption occurs. Harriet and Exec get into a minor scuffle. While Harriet and Slag were sharing their thoughts on other planets, Exec, the newest member of the colony, decided to get a little mouthy. Harriet, the beautiful and soft-spoken empath from episode 1, appears to be really growing into her role as faction leader, as she pounces on Exec for his slander. It could also be that the relentless threats of the Rimworld have calloused her heart. Whatever the case, Harriet gets the worst end of the outcome with a bite to the torso and left foot. The research lab is finalized and work begins on reorienting the ventilation in the residence, but Randy appears to have had enough of rest. He has come for blood. You thought an army of squirrels was intense. How about an army of explosive rats? becomes clear that, although elephants, rhinos, and strong colonists are capable of handling a few scratches from rodents, eating numerous explosions to the groin is playing a little recklessly with the safety of their limbs. Once the current projects are concluded, a defensive extension will certainly be on the to-do list. At nightfall, a medical survey is done of all the members of the colony, and Harriet is relieved to find only minor burns and singed eyebrows. On April May the 12th, at noon, the new ventilation is also instituted. Before dealing with the vents of the previous layout, however, the medicine is moved to the hospital. A temporary storage is created near the main line. Eventually, the wall between these two rooms will be removed, merging the area to extend the hospital. Near the end of this day, a solar flare kills the power throughout the base. With nothing to be done, work continues as though nothing has changed. In the early hours of the 13th, power is restored and the cleanup of the Boomrat invasion is done, followed up promptly by a hefty lumber harvest. On the 8th hour, the medicine stockpile is restored. Two hours later, the temperature control of the residence is also repositioned. After dark, with the hospital, lab, and residence functionally complete, effort can be invested in sorting out the mismatched materials. As this task is undertaken, an eclipse looms overhead. When Slag passes into an empty room to haul steel, he winks at Exec, who smiles back. The start of a romance occurs. God, can't you nerds get a room? There, that's better. Strategically, this is excellent as it gives massive mood boosts to two colonists and halves their room usage. Happier people, less space taken, win-win. As Lyons gets to work disassembling the mismatched walls, the colony is alerted to the sound of war drums. Kinship of Krika surrounds the base. They've come to reclaim Coyote and avenge their dead. Harriet, embracing her leadership role like never before, jumps over the sandbags and gets thrilled by the adrenaline. She's prepared for a shooting frenzy. As Lyons waits to fire, he sneezes. His time in the rain and wind have not done his immune system any favors as he shows signs of the flu. As the smoke clears, a few attackers lay dying in the corridor, streams of blood being washed down the river by the rains. As Wheel inspects the wounded, he comes across Wolf, who is revealed to be none other than Krika himself, the founder of his faction. He is a fast-working, learning, and walking berserker, adept at cooking, planting, and crafting with no disabilities. Krika is taken into custody. His useless tribesmen are stripped of their clothing and left to die. Like Coyote before him, Krika barely survives his fatal wounds. How poetic. As Wheel adjusts the prisoner's furniture, he notices that Krika's wounds have become infected. He calls to Harriet for treatment. Shortly thereafter, as the surroundings are scavenged for fresh kills, the colonists spot smoke rising from just outside the eastern wall. A forest fire has erupted. As the group nearly beats the fire by hand, another rain washes the canopy of the flame and the locals can return to their lives. And on this note, we will wrap up the chapter. I look forward to seeing what Randy throws at us next time. As this save goes deeper into the game, Randy is sending larger and more extreme threats our way. I expect the drama to increase. Thank you all for watching. Like, sub, ring the bell. As always, my friends, I hope you are safe, healthy, and fulfilled. And I will see you on the next one.